coming in. Yeah.
On today's episode, we speak to Neema Nkatha, founder and creator of Ohana Swimwear, an African swimwear brand that celebrates our African culture through unique designs. From what started as failure to find an authentic Kenyan Inspired swimsuit in the market, Ohana has taken the swimwear industry by storm. We get into the ups and downs of building her business from the ground up. This is On the Up, and this is her story.
Welcome to the show, Neema.
Thank you so much.
Super. The idea from the beginning was to be a big shot hedge fund manager, and then you landed on Ohana, which is pretty left brain if you ask anyone.
True.
Tell us about that transition and how it flew for you.
So for me, I wasn't even looking to start my own business, much more so a swimwear brand. So for me, it happened out of a personal need. It was that time I was about to finish uni, and we were planning a trip to Europe, and I wanted to, represent. We have everything African print, so I had my clothing, from the shoes to everything, backpacks, but there was no swimwear. And we were going during summer, so I started looking for swimwear, actively looking for African prints. Swimwear, I searched everywhere in the country. I couldn't find anything, and then I started looking abroad to other countries. Some other few African countries had their own brands, and I'm like, why is this not a thing here in Kenya? So I remember I ordered my first one, just the ones that are already there. And then when they came, I went to Europe with it, and everyone was like, where did you get this? Where did you get this? So I knew, I have something here. There's something here, but initially it wasn't meant to be a business. It just came out of personal needs, and here we are, yeah.
Neema, at this point in time, you're still in uni,
right.
You're studying finance, and then again, Ohana happens. Like, when did it start? The idea, school trip? When does school stop, work start, Ohana begin?
Right. So actually, it began, I had stopped working that year because I had one last semester left. And that was the semester I was doing community service. So I needed ample hours to get community service hours. And the holiday.
I remember those.
Yes, exactly.
Like 120 hours.
100, yeah, that's like technically you can't work in school. And then the holiday was for 2 weeks during our August, which is summer abroad. So that's when the idea actually came, during the holidays, and I was like, why not? So my thought process was I had nothing to lose, so why not go for it and just see how it works out? And for me, I was like, if it doesn't work out, I can still always go back to the corporate world.
Yeah, so there was a plan B.
Yes, that was my plan B. And I actually even had an interview with NCBA Bank, which I went for when I was starting Ohana. And then I remember the interviewer, who's now my mentor, because she asked me, what do you want to do and everything, and then I told her about this idea, and then she was like, don't go to work, don't do a corporate 8-to-5 job, it'll kill your dreams, just follow your dreams.
Go do that.
And then she said, I won't give you this job, go do this, and I need to follow up and everything. So every 3 months, give me a report. That's what she said.
That's when the relationship with her started?
Yes.
That's amazing. I'm sure there are a lot of detractors along the way, like people, and even myself, I would think Africans don't swim.
Right.
I didn't learn how to swim growing up. I'm starting to learn right now. And that would have been a challenge for you. And I'm sure a lot of people are telling you that. What was your point of view at that particular point?
Right. For me, the first thing that came to mind was, okay, first of all, you don't know how to swim, right? But do you go to the pool? Do you go to the beach?
Yeah, I do.
What do you wear when you go there? You still buy costumes.
Yeah.
You still buy beach products. So that was my level of thinking. And that statement is unfortunately true, because according to World Health Organization, they put out a statement saying that Africans have the highest rate of drowning deaths in the world, which is unfortunately about 15 to 20 times higher than in developed countries. Yeah, and with in as much as what is actually undeniable is that, swimming is an essential life skill which everyone needs to learn. In our school system, it's compulsory for children up to the age of 11 to be taught swimming in schools.
Yeah, I know, like the law provides, like it says it should happen.
Right.
But a lot of the schools don't follow up. Maybe mostly, I think, because they don't have the facilities, but they should hire. So we just end up in PE shorts,
Exactly.
jumping up and down the school field.
Exactly, and
Yep.
that's where the problem starts, because you need to be taught as a child. So between the age 11 and now, what happens in between? And also, they don't take it seriously as much as other extracurricular activities. So that's why I saw the gap, and that's where my need, my ability to provide solution came into place, because in Ohana, we want to do our part by ensuring all Africans from all walks of life have access to swimwear that gives them the confidence to step into the water and as well start this conversation and just, yeah.
I think that's a beautiful vision.
Thank you.
We see a lot of our friends, young Africans, and I'm sure you know a couple.
Right.
They're guys with brilliant ideas. They have an idea of like how to like change something. They see an opportunity, but they usually struggle when they need access to funds. So dreams die out at that particular point. You also didn't have like the easiest ride to be able to finance Ohana.
Yes.
Tell us something about that journey and that struggle and how it went for you.
So for me, you're right, because what I did, I just expressed my idea to my parents, and my parents helped me financially. They gave me the starting funds to just be able to even acquire the swimsuits. And I started with very little pieces just for me and my friends to see if it's something that would sell. And then my father advised me to get a loan from the bank, which they acted as guarantors. That's how I was able to get a loan and be able to produce a whole collection. But I wouldn't advise people to start with bank loans or investors. Just try and get money from relatives and friends if you can. And yeah, just don't go rushing into banks, or look for angel investors who won't ask for much. Yeah.
And the idea of starting small is actually clutch, because a lot of these young people believe, if let's say for example, Ohana was an idea with someone else, they'd think, okay, I need 200 pieces coming in, I need this factory, I need this, but the plan, you didn't even start designing the brand. You got the product for someone else and you sold it here.
Right.
In small pieces. You wanted to prove the concept. I think that was the conversation you had with your dad.
Right. Yes.
At that particular point. Prove the concept, then before going in to get loans, I believe in the idea of starting really small, prove your concept, then build slowly from there. It's a gradual process, which is the same journey you went through.
Exactly, and I feel like that's where most people get confused or messed up, is because they don't want to start small. They don't want to be seen as that small person, because that's who I was. I was the delivery person, I was the accountant, I was everything, the model, every single, and I needed to, as you said, prove the concept. So you need to do your due diligence. And sometimes in my situation, nobody had done it. I'm the first Kenyan ethnic swimwear brand. Nobody had done it here. So yeah, nobody had done it here. So there was no, there was nothing I could follow back on or check, okay, does this work? There was no blueprint, exactly. So I had no option but start from the bottom. And then one of the things I was advised is don't rush even to get millions or ask people for millions, because at that point you don't even know the value of your idea or company, and people take advantage. Most investors take advantage of small businesses at that point, because you can get 1 million and then you sell 20% of your shares, and then when it comes to when you actually need to raise a lot of money, you go back to the investor who won't be willing to sell the 20% back because they know the value. So you'll be left with 80 at the end of the road. You don't even own your own company. You're working for someone, which wasn't the whole initial idea. So just trust the process. You can never go wrong.
Neema, I really like that, because the fundamental pieces of this show is built on that.
Right.
There's no blueprint for you. We actually are the blueprints. There's no one who's shown you how to do what you're doing. You're learning along the way.
Exactly.
And I think that's really important, and it's a beautiful story. These same young dreamers are obsessed with the idea of leaving school early to pursue their ideas. You finished school and you've greatly benefited from your financial background. Tell us that story. because you're the same accountant, like you run your books,
Yeah.
like you pay your taxes. Like, what's the experience?
First of all, I'd say education is important. I'll never discredit education, whether you get it from school or from the streets. Education is still important at the end of the day. And for me, fortunately, I've gotten from both worlds. I've gotten the benefits from both worlds, whereby my financial background from school is actually helping me apply everything in my business, because running a company is all about, it's all about the finances, the numbers, projections, all that stuff, which I actually learned from school. But then street education is also the most important thing, because they don't teach you how to negotiate, they don't teach you how to talk to people, they don't teach you how to, go and appeal to customers, investors. Those are the things now you learn from the streets. So yeah, now I have an accountant, and fortunately I have an accountant now. So
whom you can guide a lot better.
yes.
Yeah. Another barrier, and I think that's something Ohana has really cracked, and obviously it's a testament to your effort, is the ability to communicate to your end audience, to be able to go to market with the actual product.
Right.
So it starts off as an idea, you go through different barriers, you end up with a product, and then you need to take that product to the end consumer. And a lot of people fall off at that level again. Tell us about some of the ideas or things or hacks that you're able to build this beautiful Ohana brand.
Okay, so the first thing I will say is people don't just buy the products, they buy the brand. They want to know what the idea behind the brand is. And for me, it came even from the name. Ohana means family. People who are not necessarily related by blood, but they're bound together by genuine support, culture, loyalty, and love for each other. And that's where, and I said these are the values for my company. And for me, I had to make it relatable, because it's something, remember I said out of a personal need. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm an African girl, I'm curvy, I'm this. How can there's nothing more relatable than that. Like, I'm in school, I'm whatever. So I was like, I wanted to build a brand that's relatable, and I wanted to use people who are relatable to the audience I'm targeting as well. So it's very important to also have a visual of your target audience and also a vision for your brand that goes in line with one another. Yeah.
And it's not like you had the biggest marketing budget.
Right.
You did it with very little resources. You tapped into your network. Tell us about that part.
Actually had no budget. I didn't know anything, so I had zero budget for marketing. Because I remember when I took the loan, I took the exact amount I needed to produce, and then I was like, okay, so after that comes marketing to the market. And that's where, for me, I used my friends. Fortunately, some were influencers. Actually, I think it was just one who was an influencer. So I was like, I got a lot of challenges actually when it came to marketing, because I remember I DM'd so many people and they were like, okay, this is a new thing, I don't know, I'm not sure I've built my brand, blah, blah. So I was like, you know what, let me use my actual friends who people can relate with. So that's how I started word of mouth. It's like, I give you, you post, and then your friend asked, because it was a new thing. So everyone was getting excited, and soon I had an audience, yeah. So I think just use whatever you have. Don't underestimate the resources or people around you. They can be your biggest factor. And for me, I think what helped was when one of my friends bought for his girlfriend then, and when she posted, she's an influencer, so when she posted, everyone was like, where did you get this, so you see. So I think for me, that's what happened. And also, in some situations, your friends might be friends with, other influencers or know other people with a huge following. So never underestimate what even 100 followers can do, because in that 100, there might be one who has 1 million followers that they know. So yeah, just start with where you can. Yeah.
It's the power of the initial network.
Right.
That builds, because right now you're friends with a lot of influencers, agencies, and you've built really strong networks to be able to help you push the brand a lot further.
Right. And even at that time, I just thought about it and I was like, why not grow with these people? So even like Nyanka, for instance, she started Ohana with me, and now she's the brand ambassador. She grew her audience as well as when I grew the Ohana audience. So it's like, why not build, because these are the people who have the values that is representing my company. So why not start with them and grow with them and build with them and nurture them as well as I nurture my company. So that was my thought process. We don't need to have someone huge. You can create whatever you want.
You can create the influencer.
Exactly.
And the brand now is the influencer.
Exactly.
You've been able to, as a young brand that's up and coming,
Right.
you've been able to work with now recently
Right.
with models across Africa.
Right.
You've been able to work with Emmanuel Jambo
Right.
as your official photographer, which is a huge hack.
Yeah.
Tell us how you achieved that.
So it's crazy because when it comes to Emmanuel Jambo in specific, I remember I just put out, there was this thing going on Instagram, who would you like to meet, whatever. So I always have like my vision. I always visualize people that I'd love to work with. And for me, it's mostly Africans because it's a brand empowering Africans. And I was like, Emmanuel was on top of the list. So I remember I just wrote on my Instagram, I would love to meet Emmanuel. And then he responded, he's like, I love your brand. So actually he's been looking at my brand for a while because he photographed Ajuma wearing Ohana as well. And Ajuma, funny thing, she reached out in 2018 wanting to, because she loved the brand, but at that time it didn't work out. That's why I said trust the process. And then they redid it a year later. And a year later, Emmanuel was the one who shot her. So even when Emmanuel saw the swimsuit, he was like, who is the person behind this? I want to be in touch with this person. And the rest is history. He's one of my good friends. They're both one of my friends. They're both my friends now. So it's really fun working with them. And what I love about Emmanuel is that he can visualize exactly, he brings exactly what you visualize into life. So yeah.
So basically, what I'm getting from that is people shouldn't be afraid to reach out.
Don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. That's the thing in life. You get what you ask for. So yeah, I asked for Emmanuel, I got him. I asked for Ajuma, I got her. So you never know.
Neema, in all of this, I'm sure there are those moments where you felt like, screw this, like giving up, and it's very human.
Right.
Tell us about those key moments
Right.
along.
So in those moments, my mind usually resonates the fact that God gives you a vision for a reason, and that it's His thing or purpose to figure out how it's all going to work out, not yours. So for me, I'm very spiritual. So when anything happens, I just go back to God. I'm like, you gave me this idea. I wasn't looking for it. I have no money to produce this swimwear. I have, no market or whatever. And He just always comes through. I remember there's this one time I was in the office just trying to figure out how am I going to get the money to produce this new swimwear line that I'm coming up with. And at that time,
that was for the
Muslim swimwear, yeah. And it was more expensive than what I had even imagined. And I remember just asking God, why? Why did you even give me this idea if it's not going to work? And at that particular moment, I almost gave up because I even applied for a job in the corporate world. Remember I told you my plan B? And I remember I was called for an interview the next week. So I just told God, just make it work. I don't want to go back to this. Make it happen. So fortunately, that same week, my mentor called me and I expressed like what was going on, and I even told my mom, and they actually came through. They're like, okay, we have this money, we can help you out. So
this is the same mentor who told you,
yes,
screw corporate.
Exactly, do not
this.
Exactly.
Called
and
you randomly.
Yes, she was checking up on me. It was those moments you just check up on someone, and then I expressed to her, and I've never asked her for anything, and she was so glad to help me because she wants to see this through, because she feels like it's also, like her baby or something. Yeah. So for me, I believe just God always comes through. He gives you an idea for a reason. He will make it. It's His thing to figure out how.
Yeah, I love that. We now live in an era, like it's a weird era with the pandemic, and it must have impacted Ohana greatly, because I remember even last week I visited one of the top hotels, and the swimming pools were still like off use because of government protocols and all those things. I'm sure these, to many, like it's been a year of like slow movement, slow growth, but you wouldn't look at it like that.
For me, I usually say it's the year of the great awakenings. So I chose to, earlier on when people were panicking, I actually just chose to focus on increasing value for my company and my business and brand rather. So, which is true what you said about businesses, like businesses were changing. For instance, in my industry or sector, when you think of swimwear, you're thinking of buying when you're traveling or when you're actually going to use it, not just randomly. It's not like an essential thing. And at that time, the borders were closed, so I couldn't even, you're not even traveling. And then the local borders as well are closed, so your nearest hotel, whatever, you're not going swimming. And unless you have a pool at home, you're also not going to swim. So I decided, okay, I can't focus on that. Let me focus on increasing value for my company. So I started being intentional with everything I did. During that time, I changed everything, including I redid the entire website. We partnered with great companies, for instance, DPO, which accepts all modes of payment. So now, we increased value in that aspect. I changed the whole entire business model. I sat down with everyone I work with. We changed everything about the company. So at that moment, I wasn't thinking profits. I'm like, you know what? Think about survival, think about increasing value, and then the sales will come. Because at the end of the day, I still ship internationally. At the end of the day, I was like, it's the time to even make the contacts, because recently I just came from this luxurious lodge that now are stocking Ohana swimwear, and they've introduced me to other contacts as well and networks. So that's what I decided to focus on. And I feel like it's actually the year of improvement, not just on your brand, also on yourself, your thinking. I read a lot. I used this period to just read a lot, to just see how to improve on everything from the primary value, the strategic, every single thing about my business, so that when the world goes back to normal, if it'll ever go back to normal, I'm ready to just explode, yeah.
Yeah, because like for a lot of businesses, because when you're running, you're only running.
Exactly.
And you never have an opportunity to like step back, look at things from a different angle or
Exactly.
a wider angle of some sort. And it's given a lot of businesses opportunities, and I'm really glad you looked at it that way.
Right. Because I told you everything happens for a reason. Sometimes even your business is closing down is another way of redirecting you to something even better. You never know. If one door closes, walk down the hallway, open other doors. So that's how I was looking at it. I was like, okay, the borders have been locked, whatever. And then it redirected me to actually, fix things internally in my company that I didn't even think was an issue. It's like all these criticisms that constructive criticism that people have been telling me, like, oh, you only use PayPal, you only use cash. Why not incorporate other modes of payment like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, everything? Oh, you do this, you haven't really designed for this, whatever. Why not look into that? I started looking into other fabrics. I started looking into different things that are soon going to come. I started thinking of concepts that I've never thought of. I sat down with Emmanuel. We've developed really great things that are soon, I'm going to show everyone soon. So that's how I started looking at things. And yeah, I just chose to see the positive out of everything that's happening.
Guys, you heard it here first.
Yeah. Stay tuned, something exciting coming up.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
We exist in a very judgy, conservative community, yet you have a swimwear brand that's very edgy. How are you able to maneuver through this?
So, first of all, the African culture has never been conservative. If you look back to our ancestors, they were basically naked, but we were brainwashed into thinking, oh, if you expose any part of your skin, you're promiscuous, or I can actually relate with that, because coming from my strict background, I personally went through all the criticisms you can go through. Because when I started Ohana and then I started posting pictures, I've never posted such content. And as I was termed, like it was termed as posting, you know, semi-nude pictures, which I don't understand, because what do you swim in? But people would say stuff like, oh, I'm looking for attention, or just being a curvy girl. I wasn't your average model looking person. So people termed it as I'm looking for attention, or oh, I'm just promiscuous out here looking for guys. Other people are like, oh, this one will end up pregnant in like a year or two. So you see those situations. It really messed me up initially. So that's when I started thinking, okay, I'm not in the fashion industry, I'm more in the mindset. I need to change people's mindset and build this brand around just embracing ourselves, loving ourselves. And that was the hardest thing for me to do. And I had to lead by example. It was like showing people, okay, it's okay to be a size 10 and wear a swimsuit and post it, because we do wear these things. It's just that posting was the issue. So and post it, but there's a fine line between posting for attention and actually bringing awareness to a brand. So I was doing it to bring awareness to this brand and what I'm trying to create. And I think now people began gravitating towards it. And the one thing you can never fake is, you know, your intentions. People will see right through that. People are smart. So for me, it was more, I think people saw what I was trying to bring, and it was never, so I think that's when people got on board with the whole idea of the swimsuit, and others started getting comfortable and just loving themselves and our culture. Right.
And there's always going to be those people who have something to say.
Right.
People who sit on their dreams and would like to slow other people down,
right.
Which in many ways is very unfair, but we have to keep pushing. The dream is the goal, like that's the path.
Exactly. And if you're brave enough or willing to put yourself out there like that, be ready for any feedback as well. Just be ready and open-minded. So that's how I am, because even to this day, I'd see people comment on, just recently, I saw someone comment on even a model, like we had posted one of our models and they were commenting on her skin tone. Just because she's light skinned, she's not black. So I'm just like, people always be bothered by something. It's not even, I was like, this is not even about the swimwear, it's your own insecurity just because she's like this. So I just let it go. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't, get to me anyways.
If you look globally, right now, we see new companies doing more in 5 years than old school businesses have achieved in 25 years. That said, what's the legacy for Ohana?
Ohana is going to be the leading brand championing for African swimming. I want that to be the legacy that we leave behind. We leave Africans feeling empowered, proud of our culture and where we're from, as well as I just want people to love themselves and change. For me, the main thing is to change the narrative. No more negative connotations towards Africans. So our legacy will be Africans swim. Africans do swim. And in fact, we will be one of the best swimmers.
I really love that.
COVID vibe.
Yeah, I just wanna win. I just wanna win. Coming in. Yeah. Ay, coming in.
Drum rolls. It's quiz time.
I'm ready.
Let me get you your questions.
Okay.
I hope you're ready.
Let's do this.
I was a bit nice with the questions, so
We'll
start.
see.
Your category was Friends.
Yes.
Okay, super. You've binge watched it.
A million times. I'm
So
like
you need
the
to know
biggest.
the answers. No
Oh
pressure.
my god. I hope so.
In which city is Friends set?
New York.
What's the title of the Friends theme song?
I'll be there for you. Is it Friends? Yeah.
No, I'll be there
I'll
for
be
you.
there for you. Yeah, I'll
What's
sing
the
it.
name of the coffee shop used by the characters? What instrument does Phoebe Buffet play?
The guitar.
What hangs on Monica's purple door?
The no, wait. I know them. I just blank. It's like I need.
We'll
No,
get that.
it's the whatever. Cindo, it's a Christmas thing. What is it called?
See, check
That's the
that.
thing. I don't know that. I know them. It's called.
Dave.
No, ask other questions. No, we're repeating.
You haven't watched it enough.
No, I have.
You need to binge watch it.
I have. I just failed this. What the hell? You see something like who sang the Friends theme? You can't. I want something like inside the show.
What's the
Okay.
name of Phoebe's alter ego?
Phoebe's alter ego.
Cut.
So I have some questions for you.
Be easy.
Yeah, we'll see. So, who was the producer who took Kendrick Lamar under his wing early on in his career?
Oh my God.
Do you
Dr.
really?
Dre?
Yes. Which of Kendrick's album made MTV name him the hottest MC of 2012, which put him in the company of other rappers who earned the title?
Good Kid, Mad City.
See, I'm giving you good questions. Who discovered Lil Wayne and which record was he signed to?
Badman, Cash Money Records.
Which album did Lil Wayne forge his solo career with in 1999?
The Carter.
I thought you were Lil Wayne's
Pass.
biggest fan.
Hit Boy.
The Block is Hot.
The Block is Hot.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So, and then this is just a general question. Answer wisely. Think about it. So, who, according to you, is the greatest hip hop artist of all time and why?
Eminem, man.
Okay, I gotta agree.
The best rapper is white.
What?
The best rapper is white. It's Eminem.
I didn't hear the one.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Why? Yeah. Because the best rapper, is that your reason?
The best rapper is white.
Is that your why?
No, he has like the catalog to like prove it. Like it's a black art, and the best person is white. Like that's
Which is your favorite album of Eminem's?
all of them.
or which
Marshall
song,
Mathers
or
LP
Can you
is-
sing a line? Can you rap a line?
Oh my God, you are hitting it.
We have to know if you really know your
I'm
stuff.
not-
Is that how you rap? I know. Is that how you rap? Is that
Arms are sweaty. Knees weak.
okay? You did good.
So,
You did better than me.
no, I caught you off guard. You were too confident.
Yeah. Ay, coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win, yeah. Flex, yeah. I just wanna win, I just wanna win. Ay, coming in, yeah. Ay, coming in.